What a way to start the second phase of this season's Champions League. AC Milan against Real Madrid. Alessandro Nesta is the only major absentee for Milan. Costa Curta continues alongside Maldini. That's a very seasoned defensive pairing. And with both Rivaldo and Rui Costa playing, just one out-and-out striker in Shevchenko. Inzaghi is on the bench at the beginning of an evening here they're calling the Night of the Stars, and you can understand why when you look at the lineups. More problems though for Real Madrid than for Milan, but Zidane does play after back trouble. Ronaldo though is ill, and Makelele turned an ankle in the Nou Camp on Saturday night. Guti did the same here in training last night. Celades is given a starting berth in midfield, and the patient Fernando Morientes is reunited with Raul in attack. Urs Maya, official worthy of the occasion given his long and distinguished refereeing career. But these two great clubs between them have been Europe's champion club on no less than 14 occasions. And Real Madrid, of course, thanks to Zidane's extraordinary goal in Glasgow, the defending champions. Both clubs have not had too much time to dwell on tonight's contest because of their involvement in huge domestic local derbies at the weekend. Milan beat Inter here to go to the top of Serie A. Real drew 0-0 in Barcelona amidst a spiteful atmosphere. There's less of that around tonight, but plenty of rivalry. Some nice pre-match shots of Rivaldo greeting Figo, former teammates in Barcelona, very much rivals here this evening. It's always a bit of a problem with the pitch in the San Siro. It's been re-turfed recently. Been a lot of rain, which doesn't help the re-turfing process. It might be a little loose underfoot, we shall see. I doubt if there'll be too much loose in the play, given the wonderful international technicians who are out here to entertain a crowd of approaching 80,000 and millions watching around the world. Seedorf for Milan. Both the coaches pretty cagey about revealing their lineups. That's no big surprise. Fewer options for Real Madrid because of the injuries that I've outlined. There's another one to add to that as well. Fernando Hierro, Del Bosque's long-time captain, missing since the last game of the first phase of the Champions League. He was injured in Belgium. Shevchenko. It was a wayward ball from the back that gave Rivaldo possession and almost in turn a chance for the Ukrainian. Between them, Salgado and Elguera headed off the Milan striker. Rivaldo just slipping at the crucial moment. Well, it's a positive start by Milan. And my goodness, Real Madrid nearly behind to one of their former players, Clarence Seedorf. Good stop by Casillas. Although the ball came at a reasonable height, he was very well placed, Seedorf. If he got a bit more power into it, I don't think it had mattered what height it was as long as it was under the bar. Coach Ancelotti's been saying, of course we respect Real Madrid, and we're very mindful of their traditions and indeed the strength of the current crop of players, but we, AC Milan, want to play our game. We want to play winning football, positive football, and they've begun as if those words are still reverberating around inside the players' heads. It gets away from Rui Costa. He then just laid a hand on Morientes. Roberto Carlos deciding to release it early. Simic, the Croatian. I might have thought that Costa Curta's days alongside Maldini in matches of this magnitude were a thing of the past. He's 36 now, Alessandro Billy Costa Curta, as he's known in the dressing room. But without Nesta, of course, in his first season with Milan, they've called on the old soldier again. Figo, who was very shabbily treated by the fans that used to cheer him in Barcelona on Saturday. A game that had that 15 minutes of shame when the players had to go off. Rivalry here, but not out-and-out hostility. Figo. Solades. And Zidane was distinctly less than impressed. But here's Figo. Zidane now allowing himself to get involved, having made his gesture of discontent. Roberto Carlos, that takes a bit of grabbing across like that, but his fellow countryman Dida maybe has had plenty of practice in international training sessions doing that sort of thing from Roberto Carlos. Hung on well. Just to remind you that next season there will not be a second group phase unless UEFA have a change of heart. The clubs seem to have accepted their belief that the Champions League should move from the first group stage into a round of 16, the 16 qualifiers into 8 pairs, and the drama of the knockout. Imagine if this was being played over 2 legs with only one team to go into the quarter-finals. As it is, it's in a group, and these are the 2 fancied teams from this section. Figo. The other 2 clubs, incidentally, have already played today because of difference in European time zones. It's finished Lokomotiv 1, Borussia Dortmund 2. Ambrosini. Kaladze. Simic. Rui Costa. I've just settled a bit now, Real Madrid, but they could already, and maybe should already, have been a goal down. Figo. Now Rivaldo. Linking with Shevchenko very neatly. And well, Rivaldo had wasted it, and then again, a couple of times he's been presented with possession. They won't keep getting away with that, Real Madrid. This time it's in at the cost of a corner. Rui Costa to take it. bit of a slipping and a header. That showed that Rivaldo's not all entirely left foot. It was always too high. Milan started their first group matches with 4 straight wins, including a double over. They eliminated Bayern Munich, not only eliminated from the Champions League, but from Europe altogether. They didn't even fall into the cushion of the UEFA Cup place. Then they lost away to Lens and here to La Coruña. Shevchenko, a good movement to get into that position. It was a bit of a tepid end to the attack. But here come Milan again. Rivaldo. It wasn't easy to dig the ball out for the shot amidst the cut of the new turfs here. Raúl captaining Real Madrid and getting a free kick. And it's a long way out. Carlo Ancelotti, though, has some cause for concern because Roberto Carlos is around. It's not a long way out for him. And they're still setting up, even from this distance. You wonder whether it might just be better to say, well, go on, try and beat the goalkeeper from there. We don't need a wall. But with that sort of power, maybe at least the wall forced him to shoot wide. Not that far wide. Ten minutes in which the home team have flexed some of their considerable muscle. Roberto Carlos, but Rivaldo able to get a foot to it, not to keep possession for Milan. Figo. Milan top of Serie A at the moment on goal difference from Juventus. Rui Costa. He does work so well, Shevchenko, off the shoulder of the last defender. That's very much his game. Looking to run in behind, which defenders do hate. Strikers who are trying to do that all the time. Cambiaso, the young player from Argentina who was signed by Real Madrid when he was 15 and then has spent a couple of spells on loan back in his country of birth. He's 22 now. Was Rui Costa's pass, and you can see where Shevchenko was always wanting to make his move. Close to coming off for Milan. Seedorf. Roberto Carlos. Zidane didn't play at the weekend, or for France 6 nights ago when they beat Yugoslavia in a so-called friendly international. It's good play by Milan again. Just too strong on the far side for Gattuso. Zidane. He's got a big job tonight, Kaladze, in Figo territory. It's something from the world of wrestling on Seedorf from Michel Salgado. Seedorf momentarily out of the action. Simic. Maldini, who was singled out again for praise in the Milan derby, which was his 42nd such occasion. Many made him man of that match here at the weekend. Flag has gone up. It still remains one of the hardest laws to get accurately applied. Figo was starting to go back, but he did bend his run and looked to the naked eye that he was offside. Ambrosini. Seedorf had quickly returned to the play. Carlos, who of course used to play here in Serie A. Picked off though by Seedorf. Well, that's the risk, that if the ball's not played quickly or Shevchenko doesn't get the run right. He didn't want it, did he? He knew he'd gone offside. But Del Bosque, I'm sure, encourages his team to play from the back, Real Madrid, but away from home in a match of this magnitude, there's been a little bit too much of that, and certainly possession has been given away in their own half on a number of occasions. Here they are, still popping their passes around, and they've been able to make some progress here through Salgado, but not for long. Maldini. Roberto Carlos. It's too high for Zidane. Caladze's header. Figo gets a touch. Figo, who certainly didn't do himself justice in the Champions League final last season, when he probably wasn't fully fit. Real Madrid are not in the best vein of form in terms of results. One win in the last 9 games in La Liga and the Champions League. 6 draws in that run. But they take a draw here tonight, I think. There it is again. A mistake by Real Madrid, by Pavon on that occasion. Just believe they can't keep getting away with squandering possession so cheaply. Again, look, Roberto Carlos. And Raul taking responsibility, coming back to help the defending. He's concerned. Shevchenko can hit the shot. Well, Milan will be believing they should be in front already. The old adage in football that when you are on top, it really is a need to take advantage of that on the scoreline. talking about strikers of Shevchenko's caliber, it was a genuine chance. Seedorf. Maldini. 1-1 from Costa Curta to Simic. Cross blocked by the ebullient Brazilian. Costa, another one to show some warm greetings to Figo when he arrived at the stadium tonight. They've actually grown up together in that golden generation of Portuguese players. A nervy kick by Dida. Rivaldo. Now Seedorf. Dida's done much better this time. Shevchenko. He's the main thrust for Milan, with the Rivaldo and Rui Costa just operating behind, and then there's three midfield players and a back four. So one of the three midfield players, Ambrosini another. Seedorf is the third. Kaladze getting forward from left back. Here is Seedorf. Rivaldo for Kaladze. Handball against Salgado. It was well worth a shout. The arm was raised. The free kick has been given. Salgado's saying it hit me on the chest, but I'm sure the replays would support that claim. It's a bright young goalkeeper, Iker Casillas, hoping the marking is good in front of him. Ball not quite deep enough for Milan's point of view. Rui Costa. Shevchenko. Rui Costa's stopped by the third man, but unfairly, said the referee. But Salades thought he got the ball, and he got plenty of support from his teammates. Yeah, he did. And it was a theatrical fall. It's a perfectly good tackle, really. Rui Costa was beavering away down that left-hand side, and the fruits of those labours, a free kick that he can take. And he doesn't take with any great conviction. Maldini's header. Seedorf getting Gattuso out of the way, and that takes a bit of doing. His teammate Zidane. Now a chance maybe for Real Madrid to show some momentum in their attacking play with Figo. And they needed something like that, really, to keep Milan focused on their defending, and to give their own supporters who have come here from Spain to Italy tonight something to build as a platform for their beliefs that the great Real Madrid, the holders of the European Cup, the Champions League trophy, are going to be real contenders again to retain that prestigious honour. Of course, won in their centenary season. For the 9th time they were Europe's champion club. It's a lovely ball by Zidane. On from Figo, and Roberto Carlos is quickly there. Salares. Cambiasso. Michel Salgado. Just past the halfway point in the first half. And it's a glittering Champions League occasion. It's Milan 0, Real Madrid 0. See how Milan players have been sucked across to one side, and Roberto Carlos had sensed the chance to move into that space. It was a great block on the shot. Raul. Just become a father for the second time. A second son called Hugo. Rivaldo to Seedorf. Rui Costa again, Shevchenko trying to get onto the back line so that there might be an angle for a pass in to get him clean in at goal. Seedorf. Broken up momentarily by Zidane, only momentarily. Seedorf again. And Brazzini getting it to the distinctive figure of Gennaro Gattuso. Rui Costa. Pavon drawn out of the centre. He's come through the ranks at the Bernabeu Stadium. More Milan pressure. Shevchenko. Helguera missed it, but then spun round to find that the ball was within reach, and he whacked it away, and needed to. And that, pretty comfortable in the circumstances for Casillas. Zidane. 4 forward for Real Madrid here. And there's still an opportunity that Morientes couldn't take himself, or in the end carve out for one of the supporting players in the centre, Raul. And that's the danger for Milan. They've been forcing the play. But look at the calibre of attacker that Real Madrid can suddenly put into a counter-attack. Zidane, Figo, Raul, Morientes. Maybe lucky to escape with only a corner against them, the home side. Miss hit by Seedorf. Salgado. Raul. Good clearance by Kaladze. Shevchenko. Neatly nudged into the path of Rui Costa. Rivaldo. Seedorf. Rivaldo again. Thinking about the cross to Shevchenko, then thinking better of it. Seedorf. All those tricks that he learnt as a youngster at Ajax. Was the well-timed pass. If Morientes had had a left foot that he was really confident with, he might well have not needed those extra touches. He, of course, playing because of Ronaldo's absence. There always seems to be a story behind the story with the Brazilian, who didn't go back to Barcelona, one of his former clubs, at the weekend, and didn't come here. Not that he was a Milan player, but of course an Inter player. He certainly would have had some scorn poured on him by the Italian support. He is officially ill. Figo. But Ronaldo has not endeared himself to his club mates by answering a question as to why he's doing well for Brazil. He scored 2 goals last week in a match in South Korea, against South Korea. Why he's not playing like that for Real Madrid? He simply said, well, my countrymen understand me better than my club mates, and probably was not said with any great slight on his teammates, but it might well, in a dressing room of big egos, have been perceived as an insult. Here's Zidane, not closed down, and certainly a shot that carried plenty of conviction, but from Dida's point of view, it was reasonably straightforward to deal with. They didn't get to Zidane, the Milan midfielders. Zidane's cross will end away from Pavon, who'd come up. Certainly hit that with plenty of power to suggest that the back problems he's been suffering with are not at the moment a cause for concern. Ursma has seen that as dangerous play by Shevchenko. Roberto Carlos. It certainly was dangerous on Zidane. Simic. So we've had a third of the contest. Figo. Slip was by Seedorf, but you can't blame him on this relayed top. There was a real groan of disapproval from the crowd, and might have been a bigger groan then, because the Salgado nearly got it into a near post area, sort of position where Raul is always trying to hunt out a chance. Rivaldo. Maldini. He and Costa Curta have 3 years and 10 between them now. Zidane tracking back. Cambiasso. Roberto Carlos, who always injects dynamism into the attack. Oh, they flick by Raul, not read by Morientes. Roberto Carlos was setting off hoping that Raul might have played it back his way. Zidane. See from every angle that Gattuso did not get the ball, which is his job in the team, to get in there and close down and fight for possession. Just thinking that Real Madrid have been a bit more disciplined in their play in their own half, and then there's Celades losing out that time. Rui Costa. It's always the percentage ball to go across the goalkeeper. But at that angle, Casillas in no risk of parrying it out to an on-rushing Milan forward. He could let it pass across the face of his goal. Maldini, still plenty of spring in his leap. Kaladze. Morientes was one of the players that was in the frame for being part of a swap with Inter in the Ronaldo deal just before the deadline at the end of August, but he wanted to stay put. Zidane. Oh, well, Morientes, who played an earlier part in the attack, then found the ball coming back his way. Raul was taken out. The advantage was played by the referee. It was a bit of a fortunate ball from Roberto Carlos to get to Morientes, but as it did, well, there was a sight of goal. Both the Zidane and Raul were impeded in that attack, but it was good refereeing. Simic with the throw. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. It's goalless at the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium, the San Siro, if you like. Shevchenko. Nicely done by Gattuso, but they're playing and passing on the retreat, Milan. Not the object of the exercise, not when you recall those exhortatory words from coach Ancelotti about wanting to really go at Real Madrid. At the moment they're having to defend his team. Figo. Assistant play by Kaladze. Might have been a foul by Salgado. Not from the referee's angle though. Roberto Carlos. Zidane. Two little flicks coming out from Real Madrid, and the attacking third is being a bit more heavily populated now by players in the famous all-white strip. And it's great defending. Stopped Gattuso by Pavon. There's a quote from the president of Real Madrid saying what we need at the club is a mixture of the big stars and the pavons, the homegrown players who give a lot of character to the team. Morientes. Raul. Just too high for Zidane. Shevchenko, he's held off Roberto Carlos. Needs a bit of help, and who better to give it than Rivaldo. No foul, despite a quizzical look from Simic. Just got the trailing leg onto the ball, Roberto Carlos. His right foot does have its uses. Salgado. Now Raul. Figo up the touchline ahead of him. Morientes through the middle. Salgado. There's no flag against Fernando Morientes. And there's not enough numbers in the middle for the cross. Only Raul got there. It's the sort of economy that comes with playing away. On the Bernabeu, I'm sure there'd have been 2 or 3 others in there. Kaladze. Rui Costa. It's been prominent in the first half, particularly the first 20 minutes, when Milan were very much the bosses. They have lost some of that initiative. Roberto Carlos. Good jump again by Kaladze. Gera. Closed down. Seydorf. It's a bit of a, what shall we call it, a forwards tackle by Morientes. It's genuine enough, but not successful enough. Free kick played short. Simic. Gattuso. Only Shevchenko to aim for. Now only Raul to aim for Real Madrid from the back. Kaladze. It's picked off by Celades on the slide. Having to come deep. Feel that the most fulfilling part of the evening is yet to come. It's been very interesting to this point, particularly in the way the Spanish club have grown as the half has developed from a tentative beginning. There's no flag here, and there is Shevchenko, and there is the opening goal. It's come in the 40th minute, and they switched off at the back, Real Madrid, as if perhaps lulled into a false sense of security because of a better spell in the territory of the game. But he does lurk with intent, Shevchenko, and he works that last defender, and if that last defender doesn't either step up or mark him tightly, this is what happens. No marking, no offside, and no reprieve for Real Madrid. Milan lead 1-0. Andrei Shevchenko, whose season was slow to get going because of injury. There was even a suggestion that he might be traded in the transfer window when it opens again in January in Europe, and that he wouldn't play in the Champions League because he would be cup-tied. He's playing in the Champions League all right for AC Milan. Well, just when the possession was evening out and Milan's boisterous start was being consigned to the memory, and what had I said about if you don't score when you're on top, you can have problems. Well, they didn't score when they were on top, but they have scored here, and they're looking for the same sort of route again with the speedy Shevchenko. Not just speed, but power in the physique as well. And they're rattled, Real Madrid. Kaladze. Here's Rui Costa, who's probed and probed away with his dribbling skills, his passing skills. He's had a shot as well. Kaladze. Rui Costa's cross was aimed for Shevchenko. Zidane. So the stars from Spain have some work to do. Zidane. Morientes lining it up. Costa Curta made sure he got the block in. It's good movement by Morientes. down the channel. That's where the ball went. Costa Curta has been dealing with that sort of danger for probably more years than he cares to recall now. Goalkeeper, good shout. You can hear that from here. That's what the defenders want. The man with the gloves to take charge. Rui Costa. One from Gattuso, used as a decoy. Rivaldo. Now Kaladze. Yeah, it did look like a foul by Figo. The referee was trying to play an advantage. Boot sponsors never mind when one comes off, do they? Gives the logo a chance to be on camera. Case of how much added time before half-time. Pleasing scoreline for the majority here in the stadium. One extra minute. He's a little tiger, Gattuso. The spell in Scotland, some of you might recall, with Rangers. Speaks his English with a Glaswegian twang. Rivaldo. Maybe a chance for one last attack from Real Madrid before half-time, in pursuit of an equaliser. Zidane. Figo. There you go, Kaladze. Got past him, got the cross in, reached by Maldini. Important that at this late stage it could be very morale-sapping to lose the lead. You might recall England doing that at this very late stage of the first half in the World Cup quarter-finals against Brazil. They never really recovered from that in that game. But Milan are not so profligate. It's been a match well controlled so far by Urs Meier. And Ancelotti's team are living up to the coach's boost to want to play winning football despite the magnitude of the occasion. Not to be dazzled by the reputation of Real Madrid, to play the match on its merits. They've done that. There were times where Zidane was an influence for Del Bosque, but Shevchenko's goal is the difference between the two sides, and Rui Costa, who's been an enormous influence on this first half, put him through, and that's what Real Madrid have to try and come back from in the second half. At half-time here in Milan, 1-0 to AC Milan. The scorer, Shevchenko. Welcome back to Milan. It's rained very heavily during half-time. The ground staff have been out marking the white lines. Rivaldo looks as though he's got a plaster or a strapping under his chin. The chin should be up for Milan. They lead by Shevchenko's goal to 0 against the Real Madrid, the defending champions in this competition. Win that earns them a match against the champions of South America in Japan early next month. In fact, they leave later this week for that game in Yokohama. against Olympia from Paraguay. Rui Costa. Simic. Interesting to see how Milan play this in the formative minutes of the second half, whether a goal can bring greater confidence to push on, but whether Ancelotti wants a considered approach, make sure that the lead isn't lost quickly in this restart. They're looking to add to it here through Kaladze. Shevchenko, Seedorf, all being done at just a little beyond top pace, too quick. Down goes Zidane. Contact with Ambrosini. It's not getting foggy, I can assure you of that. It's just the firecrackers that were set off as the teams came out for the second half. It's a familiar sight here in Italy, a problem for Italian commentators week in, week out. But even with restricted visibility, that looked a foul on Figo by Gattuso. And it was the sort of foul that has provoked the referee to reach for a yellow card. He was reaching not very close to the ball, was it? Gattuso. So the first caution of the game. Meyer pacing out the 9.15 metres, 10 yards in old money. Here comes Roberto Carlos. He reflects on quite why that was so harmless to the opposition. He is such an ebullient character. He never complains about being tired from playing too much. Gattuso. I don't think we can expect any great change from Real Madrid. They probed away with a reasonable amount of threat at 0-0. They'll be looking to make better use of any openings that they carve out now that they trail. Ambrosini. And again, it's important for the away team to keep the back door closed, and off goes Figo. And the take on Maldini, but Maldini didn't make much of it, but Figo has lost his composure once he'd lost the ball. The referee turned his back on the episode and allowed the game to go on. It was a good turn of pace by Paolo Maldini. I suppose Figo's not the quickest player around, but he still looked to use what acceleration he has, and Maldini comfortably headed him off. Here comes Rivaldo. Oh, good save. Rui Costa, having made a goal, very close to scoring the second himself. If you had to pick a man of the match at this point, I think the Milan number 10 would be top of the list. Games aren't decided at this point. We're only 5 minutes into the second half. Roberto Carlos gets it away. Costa Curta. Simic. Now Gattuso. Hounded by Raul, but he turned away from him. Rui Costa again. They forced him across the pitch, and in the end to lose the ball. But gone and got it back. Rivaldo. Seedorf. He was into his stride and couldn't free a leg to have a real swing at the shot. There's a bit of a feud here between Figo and Maldini, whether Maldini was looking for a bit of quick revenge from that incident a couple of minutes ago, possibly. Roberto Carlos. Touch from Raul, a shot from Morientes. Rivaldo. It's a real tempo about the play at the moment. All credit to Milan, they've not come out particularly cautiously to bed into this second half, to rest, not exactly rest on their laurels, but secure a position. They've looked to improve that position. It's the Ancelotti way. Mauro Tassotti, a long-time Milan servant as well, behind him on the bench. Seedorf. Wide from Stellares. Attempt at switch of the play from Roberto Carlos. Support from Morientes. Raul was deep, but occasionally, because I think the responsibility of leadership is, look at him chasing back here. But Morientes has looked a bit isolated from time to time. But for all the talent and skill on view, epitomised by that fella, there's plenty of industry and hard graft going on out there as well. Maybe epitomised by this fella. Simic taking over from Gattuso. Costa Curta. Simic. Roberto Carlos. Helguera. Edgy Real Madrid then. Ambrosini. He really came in like a bulldozer here. And Stellares was on the receiving end. Figo. Zidane taking over from Roberto Carlos. Now the Brazilian looking for a free kick on the edge of the area, not looking at the referee to get it, so I think he knew it was a fair enough tackle. 10 minutes in the second half, no change to the scoreline. Goal that came 5 minutes before the break. With Borussia Dortmund having already won an away game earlier today in this group. Neither side would want a draw here, but of course no one wants to lose. Here's Shevchenko. At the moment is the man leading Milan towards a win. Zidane. Figo on the left this time. Solada's being told by his teammates to keep it going across to that right-hand side to Salgado. Figo, Seedorf's tackle. Got the ball. And they've got a bit of the man as well, judging by Figo's reaction. Rui Costa. Simic. They've been averaging more than 2 goals a game in Serie A this season. And scored exactly 2 goals a game in their Champions League first set of 6. So don't expect AC Milan to be finished as far as scoring is concerned here. They'd love to get a second goal at this stage. It would be a real setback to Real Madrid. Zidane. The diagonal ball from Roberto Carlos was overambitious. Gattuso. Seedorf. Rui Costa. On from Gattuso. Simic able to set himself up unchallenged for the cross, as if Real Madrid were confident that whatever angle it came in from, they'd be able to defend it okay. That confidence wasn't misplaced, as it turned out. Maldini. Calazza has taken every opportunity to get forward, as if he might feel a personal comparison with Roberto Carlos tonight. See us with some wisdom in the end. I was going to say if he'd taken the throw, it would have been youthful impetuosity. He was tempted, I think. He's back where he belongs. You don't see that so often these days, with goalkeepers not being able to pick up throw-ins, as they were for many years allowed to do. Gattuso. It's the slip. Raul. Zidane. It's the bite Ancelotti used to provide himself in a Milan shirt. And he gets from Ambrosini and Seedorf and Gattuso. Roberto Carlos. Extravagantly done. Zidane. Figo. Rivaldo. Having linked with Rui Costa. Rui Costa wants it back. Rivaldo's got 2 coming from the opposite flank. Clarence Seedorf! Oh, brilliant defending by Cambiasso. It was Cambiasso who got back. And was there an offside? Maybe there was. It certainly wasn't Seedorf. It was Shevchenko, and it was a piece of defending that in the end was only academic, but Cambiasso wasn't to know that. Simic, Shevchenko. It's a great cross, and he'll be thinking he could have made a bit more of this. slid off the brow. Morientes hasn't been his night, and young Javier Portillo, who has scored extravagant amounts of goals in the junior teams for Real Madrid and shown that he's capable of getting them at senior level as well. He's on. One striker for another. Rui Costa, goalkeeper's ball. These clubs met in the semi-finals in the first year of the European Cup, and then a couple of years later in the final itself. Oh no, that was a bit self-indulgent, but I guess he saw something to aim at. When you do that from there, you've got to get it right, really, when you've got teammates Rivaldo and Shevchenko raising their arms before Rui Costa got up to make his own gesture of self-reproach. He looks on impassively. It's Milan 1, Real Madrid 0. Tussle of the titans of European football. Both clubs will have an inner belief that this could be their season in this most elite of club competitions. Plenty of competition. The Italian side's doing well in the first phase. Valencia have looked very impressive coming from Spain. And that's a little cameo of what Portillo is about. He usually has but one thought in his mind: shoot. It's not a bad policy. Zidane, this is Raul, will it drop for him? Knocked away by Costa Curta. Roberto Carlos. Solares. Figo. Seedorf, Shevchenko. Well, it's one to look at on the replay. It's the moment of contact there. That looked onside, and he thought so. But the assistant, the man with the flag, didn't. That's the one they're looking for, though, from Shevchenko. And lost it, but got it back. Cambiasso, Roberto Carlos. Get it out by Maldini. Figo. This is better from Real Madrid. Figo going down, but not under the weight of an opponent's challenge, says the referee. Certainly not an unfair one. Rivaldo. Rui Costa. And Milan looks so good when he's in possession. Gattuso backing him up. Coming to the 20-minute mark in the second half. Certainly back at his most lively best, Shevchenko, with injury problems. Of course, he, not for the want of trying, didn't go to the World Cup. Ukraine lost in the playoffs. Everyone keeping a wary eye out for those players who did spend several weeks in the Far East as to whether their endeavours in the European summer months will catch up with them in the European winter. Here's Rui Costa, who had a pretty short time in the World Cup with Portugal, much shorter than anticipated. Rivaldo, of course, went all the way. Seedorf. Cambiasso, very tenacious then. Gattuso. Kaladze. Tensions red. Zidane. Figo again on the left. To brush Simic aside. Free kick to Real Madrid. Having gained it, Figo now wants to garnish it with someone's head to equalise here in Milan, but it doesn't happen. Shevchenko. They're saying that the assistant got in his way then. Roberto Carlos. Floated ball from Figo. Met forcefully by the head of Paolo Maldini. Still a quarter of the game to go. Just the one goal in it. Simic. Silvio Berlusconi apparently addressed the Milan players before the derby game on at the weekend, saying, please, for me, beat Inter and then beat Real Madrid. Well, they did the first part. At the moment, they're on course for the second part. To answer that presidential wish. Figo. Got a touch of the ball. Well, again, the problem for players in these situations is that they're tackling with the wrong foot. Come across with the left, it'd be more apparent that the ball's been played. Roberto Carlos. Cambiasso. Back with Roberto Carlos again, and now Zidane, and now Celades. Salgado. Finding some space infield. Raul. Across the quarter at his back. There's a big, powerful figure, Dida, in goal, and crosses have got to be directed away from him. I think Pavon raised an arm as if to say, I know, you're going to have to book me for that one. Knew the dangers of letting both the ball and Rivaldo get behind him. Shevchenko. Rui Costa. Oh, it's run for Shevchenko, but Celades on his toes. Gattuso. Header from Salgado actually struck Rivaldo. Didn't stick for him to have a shot from a place where he'd have been almost certain to score from. Rivaldo, it's a brilliant pass. It's that ball arrowed to Shevchenko again, and now it's been given away. And here goes Seedorf. They just can't finish Real Madrid off, Ancelotti's team. They've upped the ante again in the second half. They're the more threatening side. Very good decision this time. He was onside. It was a marvellous pass. All controlled by Raul, but he's nicked the ball back for Real Madrid. Portillo. Now Figo. Maldini happy to be drawn across again. Seedorf. Well, the force has been with Milan for the last 10 minutes or so, but while it's 1-0, there's absolutely no room for relaxation. Lovely dummy by Rui Costa. Pretty solid tackle by Rivaldo. Simic. Oh, and there's a slip here by Pavon. And one real negative memory of this evening will be that these two great sides need a more substantial surface to play upon. It may look good on camera, but it has all the dangers of relayed turf. Shifting doesn't settle in for a few weeks. Players can lose their footing so easily. I don't think that was the reason that Rui Costa was so off target that time. Zidane trying to quicken the pace for Real Madrid. Figo rolls for Roberto Carlos. Now Gattuso. It's a pretty dangerous ploy in the circumstances. He has been booked. Dida comes with the fist. Salgado. Cambiasso. Salgado. Some Milan appeals for handball, certainly from the crowd. Cambiasso. On to Roberto Carlos. That was one of the better crosses of the day from the visiting team. Just asked too much of Raul. In front of his fellow captain then. There's a bit of shirt pulling and grabbing from both players. Still 1-0 to Milan. 15 minutes to go. And to an ovation, Rui Costa comes off. Serginho gets a message of good luck, maybe a tactical point, maybe. But Rui Costa's been superb. Solari. One Argentine replaces another as Cambiasso goes off. And in goes Rivaldo. Not quite, didn't quite get there. And it was Pavon who came to the rescue of Real Madrid. Again, tackling in theory with the wrong foot, but he made sure he had the right outcome. So Rivaldo, instead of celebrating a second, at this stage a match-clinching goal, you would feel, has to spot up the corner. Out comes Casillas. It was a ball that needed dealing with. Goalkeeper didn't fail, Del Bosque, but it's another corner. Kaladze coming from the back post, and Ambrosini's in there as well. Serginho. Seedorf, Gattuso for Kaladze. Well, another moment which could have made sure of the match for Milan. Mind you, 1-0 was good enough against Inter here. Serginho got it on Saturday. Chance for 2-0. Kaladze going for the gap at the near post, but that gap was shut by Casillas. Gattuso wrong-footing Rivaldo. Seedorf, Shevchenko, Seedorf again. Shevchenko, they're piling on the pressure. Kaladze. Milan wonder whether they've got back in sufficient number. Maldini trying to dispossess Figo unsuccessfully. On from Zidane. Gets it back from Portillo. Zidane! Well, that's the risk that Milan run by attacking with such numbers. They felt, I think, in the last 15 minutes or so that they could wrap this game up. They haven't been able to do it. Zidane, well, within a foot or two of equalising. Solari. Roberto Carlos. Solari, who usually works the left-hand side, he's got some supply in from that position. Rivaldo. Here's Figo. Zidane tucking it on to Roberto Carlos. It flies off Simic for a corner. And Real Madrid, like the champions they are not done yet. Roberto Carlos, fisted out by Dida. Pretty lax defending at the corner. It wasn't even 2-on-1, it was 2-on-0. They'd wanted to take it in a bit. It was Salgado on Costa Curta, who suddenly cropped up there. This is more where he'd be expected to be. Kaladze. Figo. Figo complaining about the treatment that's being dished out to him. Ambrosini's certainly put it about in midfield. Can Milan stand firm? They've got 10 minutes to do that. Real Madrid have roused themselves. Roberto Carlos. Solari. Some clever footwork. And looked as though it bounced back off Gattuso onto Solari. It should have been a goal kick. Not easy for the referee to spot that. So Shevchenko goes off. Ancelotti's obviously a bit concerned. Is that moment the match winner? He can't influence it anymore, and Jon Dahl Tomasson, the Dane, came here from Feyenoord. He's on. Dida didn't get there. Well, they're claiming that the ball's gone in, and was there a handball in there? Certainly Dida didn't get his hand to it. It was the header down from Zidane. This is the angle that'll tell us a bit more. Raul leaning in. And then Serginho, I think it was, on the line. Well, extraordinary episode. It had Real Madrid believing that they had scrambled an equaliser. Raul, who had in a match against Leeds United in the Champions League a couple of years ago, scored a goal definitely with his arm that stood. Well, that one didn't. But it has encouraged Real Madrid even more. Don't quite see the moment. The ball's definitely over the line. Anyway, whatever Ousmane ruled it out for, he did rule it out. So they're still pursuing an equaliser. 7 minutes to go. Roberto Carlos. That's the best one he's hit tonight. Dida dealt with it almost nonchalantly. Kaladze. Off goes Tomasson. Out comes Casillas. And they had a problem. The ball going across and out of the area, but he can play the outfielder. And this is where Ancelotti will want to see more of the ball. It's been worryingly too near his team's goal. Rivaldo. Knocked forward by Roberto Carlos. Cut out twice by Costa Curta. That's one that could have gone either way. In fact, it's gone neither way. And that must be against Elguera, at the very least a free kick. And a booking that means he misses the next match for Real Madrid in this group. He was exposed, Ivan Elguera. Wasn't exactly the last man, fortunately for him. There was a bit of cover. Possibly would have got there. Rain's still falling, but everyone absorbed in this mighty contest that still has 5 minutes or so to run. Simic. Thomason. Cleaned up by Elguera. Now Salgado. Case of what we have, we hold for Milan. They've not had that policy for most of this second half. They've gone to try and increase the margin of victory, but they haven't been able to do that. So the last few minutes are bound to be tense and nervy. Good strength on the ball from Kaladze. Seedorf. Maldini finding a pass of supreme confidence, really, in the circumstances. Seedorf. Just tried the turn, Rivaldo. Knew exactly where Elguera was, and that if there was any contact like that, then it had to be a free kick. All takes time. They won't be in a hurry to spot it up. And not going back far enough, Real Madrid are only wasting their own time. They haven't gone back very far. There's a charger in there, in Roberto Carlos. Gattuso, Mr. Perpetual Motion. He's there again, but he's been penalised this time. 2 minutes plus added time. On the night of stars, the stars of the night are in red and black, it seems. Roberto Carlos. Maldini read the trajectory quickly. Rivaldo. Serginho. Well, that was really all that could be asked of him in those circumstances. He was having his shirt pulled. Perhaps didn't quite go down because of that. He stumbled in the end, but Salgado, again, is only wasting his own time, and he's wasting his breath. The free kick's been given. Looks like Figo and company are going to be failures in their quest to take some reward from their opening game. Difficult though it is. It was always so on paper. It's certainly been as the game has unfolded. Off goes Simic, and Chamot, the battle-hardened Argentine defender, gets a little taste of the action here. Oh, that was Kaladze going in. He's had a couple of chances. We got this one by muscling opponents out of the way. We are into added time. 3 minutes, I think, of that. 3 it is. Well, until assistants flag and referees to deal with those pushings and shovings that we see so often, they'll continue to go on. an edifying sight in a match of this stature. I suppose you could say, well, it was justice done that Kaladze didn't get the corner that I think he would have been entitled to, and certainly didn't get the goal that he was seeking through questionable means. Here's Seedorf. One of the 3 minutes has gone. Short pulling, that's a variation on the theme. Rivaldo. It's good work by Elguera. Not switching off in the closing stages. Zidane still keeping Real Madrid in with a chance of sneaking an equaliser, which over the 91.5 minutes that we played, they don't really deserve. There have been periods in the game where their big hitters in midfield and up front have started to impose themselves. But for consistency through the match, the home side has the edge. They have the goal. They have time on their side. Domestic joy here for AC Milan on Saturday against Inter. 1-0 that was, and it looks very much as though it's going to be another 1-0 the right way for them now on a wider stage. Inside the final minute. Roberto Carlos. Salgado. Figo. Hopeful cross. Ambrosini got ahead to it. Salgado. And Raul, it didn't sit for him. Figo, not finished yet, Real Madrid. Some rather edgy moments here. But there goes the final whistle. And a job very well done in the end by the Italian club so far. It is an Italian showing this season in the Champions League, a renaissance after a couple of lean years. And this is a much appreciated win. Of course, there's a lot to do in the second phase. It's just a start. But what a start. They've beaten the defending champions. Carlo Ancelotti said we would go for the win. It could have been a bigger margin, but Shevchenko's goal 5 minutes before half-time did in the end settle it. Absorbing from first whistle to last. And a final score, Milan 1, Real Madrid 0.
Martin